Welcome to the Volatile. Thank you for joining me this evening. Um, Please check out Chris Thorne's show if you get a chance. Although I'm live right now, but I'm sharing his content. He's currently has an update pertaining to one of his stories. So if you get time, please check out his content. I want to say something to the viewing audience pertaining to true crime and commentary pertaining to true crime. Hello, Sammy P. Thank you for joining me. As I stated on my community page a little while ago before going live, if you have any information pertaining to Sebastian Rogers, 15 years of age, Caucasian boy child missing out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, please contact TBI and or the Hendersonville Police Department. Not the YouTube chat, YouTube comment box. Call the authorities if you have any pertinent information. And I say this because it's pertaining to my second topic of this live stream. Some of you get a little bit beside yourselves in commenting on certain matters, and you will lead people to think that you know something about the case. And I don't know what your ulterior motive is, or if you just think you know what's going on in a case. But my best advice to you is that if you think you know something about a missing person or deceased person, then your best ladder to take is to contact authorities, not endless chatter in comment boxes. And I think it's sad to even have to say this, but some of you just get beside yourselves in your commentary, and somebody needs to check you. So I'm going to check you. If you don't know what you're talking about and you're making up stuff, don't comment. But if you have pertinent information pertaining to a storyline, contact TBI, FBI, or the local police department, sheriff's office that's handling the case. Thank you for joining me. Pertaining to this Carlee Russell debacle, I put up a brief poll just 13 minutes ago. Should there be a stiffer penalty, such as prison time for false reporting to 911? Only 10 votes, 100% says yes. And I agree. Because you cannot waste law officials' resources, manpower, woman power, foot power, money spent in looking for a person, all on information that you gave. And in this case pertaining to Carlee Russell, she lied about being seeing a toddler on the highway and also being abducted by a Caucasian couple, whomever these imaginary people were. Why she did it, I do not know. I may do another live stream pertaining to people who lie and make up false tales pertaining to being kidnapped, hurt, assaulted, whichsoever. The thing you don't understand is that you are harming the community by lying. You're hurting the police department, sheriff department, whomever is involved. You're hurting the people who are on the ground looking. You're hurting the people who you're related to, okay? You're hurting the people who are concerned about you. You're wasting resources, money. These people have to be paid. Then you have people who volunteer. And a lot of times they don't even want people on foot volunteering, especially when you're in wooded areas, because people can get lost. And this is why you'll hear a lot of times officials will say, we don't want people on the ground because they don't have the manpower to, man everybody on the ground that aren't law officials with walkie-talkies, so on and so forth. That's common sense. Whatever this woman's problem is, I don't know. I'm not even going to say was, because I still think she has a problem. And I don't see that she's gotten medicated and therapeutic services in less than a year to where she's cured. She has some real issues. And the thing about Carlee Russell, there are many people like her. And I think it's befitting that I'm talking about the subject matter pertaining to stiffer penalties for lying to 911, dispatch offices, false reporting, and people who are, detached from reality, delusional, that get involved in crime stories. That's the second part of this live stream. true crime wackos, because I'm seeing a uptick, a trend in people who are not stable, such as the black female who implicated a university professor in the Idaho 4 crime. That lady took her to court. This is not a joke. And some of you really think this stuff is funny. I'm noticing an uptick of me going live, the barrage of negative comments and derogatory comments during the live stream. It shows you that there's people who are sick out here and nothing is off limits to them. This is a joke. And even the people who bring the commentary, it's a joke to them. Because you have people who are unstable. This is why I say this all the time. And some people may get offended, but I don't think a lot of people realize the things that you even say in the chat and the comment boxes under the news videos. You're showing that you're not stable. Nobody thinks before commenting. Nobody makes any sense in their commentary. Then they get mad because nobody will agree with what they're saying. But did you think about the comment before you made it? I'm just saying, because I'm noticing some really bizarre behavior as of today in the comment box. That is why the past live or two, there haven't been any comments during the live stream. I cut the comments off because I don't have time to man the chat with, derogatory comments. It breaks up the flow of the content. And I don't have that kind of time to be deleting while I'm going live and giving the information. I don't have that kind of time. My time is precious to me. There's people out here who they don't have anything better to do. And those are the people who go into the chat boxes with the crazy comments and during the live streams, and then they go over to the video itself and make whack-ass comments and stuff. This shit is serious out here. There are missing people out here. They're missing children out here. There are abused people out here. I feel like that I'm doing a service to the community. I don't have to do this. And it really, it's a waste of time to have to man your own chat. Because you can't get people to follow through to mod the chat. And then, as I said, it breaks up the continuity to keep having to delete, try to answer the questions, try to bring forward the information. It's time consuming. But I'm seeing that there are really some unstable people out here. Just like this chick who lied about seeing a kid on the highway, wasting resources in Alabama. People were genuinely concerned about her, but she didn't care. And in the end, nobody cares about her personal problems or what she had going on with her. She should have sought a therapist, a rabbi, a priest, a pastor, somebody. Because it's ridiculous to be that old and lying. Let's get down to business, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $sign began to 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats always welcome during the live stream. Once again, should there be a stiffer penalty for false reporting to 911? 100% of you said yes. Now we have one commenter. Selena says yes, because it's a waste of their time. It's for emergencies. Yes, it is. Thank you all for joining me. This is a two-part live, everybody. 1 second, please, while I load this information up pertaining to this debacle. Registerherald.com is the source. A new plea hearing has been set for an Alabama woman accused of falsely telling police she was abducted last summer after stopping her car to check on a toddler wandering near a highway. Carlee Russell's 2-day disappearance and her story of being abducted captivated the nation before police called her story a hoax. Russell was scheduled for trial March 18th, but a court document filed Thursday shows a plea hearing is now set for March 21st. The document did not specify whether she will plead guilty. Russell's attorneys appealed her case to circuit court after a municipal judge in an October ruling found Russell guilty of misdemeanor charges of false reporting to law enforcement and falsely reporting an incident. The ruling came after Russell's attorneys agreed to stipulate an appeal, a procedure in which a defendant acknowledges evidence against them. A guilty decision is entered and the case moves up to circuit court. Russell disappeared July 13th after calling 911 to report a toddler beside a stretch of Interstate 459 in Birmingham, a suburb of Hoover. And this is in Alabama. She returned home 2 days later and told police she had been abducted and forced into a vehicle. Police quickly cast doubt on Russell's story. Her attorney issued a statement through police acknowledging there was no kidnapping and that she never saw a toddler. In the statement, Russell apologized to law enforcement and the volunteers who searched for her. Hoover Police Chief Nick Durzett previously said he was frustrated that Russell was only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite the panic and disruption she caused. He said the law did not allow for enhanced charges. Alabama legislators this year are considering a bill that would enhance penalties for falsely reporting crimes. Associated Press and registerherald.com are the sources for this said information. So now Alabama will try to seek making a law for false reporting crimes, stiffer penalties, as it should. And most states should have stiffer laws pertaining to filing of false report. Because you see, anyone can call 911 and say anything. I've been attacked by a dog. There's an intruder in my house. There's an intruder trying to break in my house. Somebody's trying to break in my car. You can just call 911 and say any damn thing. And many people have called and fabricated a story and made up something because they're mad at somebody, angry with somebody, whatever the situation is. And then there are those who actually call 911 because somebody is after them. Somebody is breaking into their house. Somebody has assaulted them. And it's up to detectives, police to differentiate what is the truth or not. But it is a waste of time to call and have somebody sit here and ask you 50,000 questions about where you're at, what you're doing, blah, 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 and you're making it all up. But we have unstable people out here. I mean, you can't logically understand why anyone would call 911 and make up a story such as this. Because we have people who are in disputes all the time, neighbor issues, domesticated, and people are fabricating stuff even then on the 911 dispatch call. But to call and say you saw a child walking down the highway in a diaper and t-shirt and you were abducted after seeking, trying to, see about the child is just outrageous. You can come up with 1,000 words to describe this scenario. 1,000 words. But it's ridiculous that a grown woman, allegedly educated woman, working woman, would waste resources and her own damn time and ruin her own reputation, image on a lie. Why did she lie? I don't know. What was she going through? I don't know. Don't care. Because she's not the only one in the world with personal problems. If this was a boyfriend issue, it's still outrageous. And I'm not here to even say why she did it, because there's a deeper problem than what we're assuming was wrong with her. Boyfriend, girlfriend problems, whatever, parent problems, mad at the world problems. She has a deeper internal issue. She has an identity problem going on, because to even think of the lie, plan out the lie, and then call 911, leave your car on an interstate, a whole damn car, a Mercedes at that. Folks out here don't even have a car, don't have a Mercedes to drive, weren't living in a nice neighborhood. She's sitting here living at home, probably don't pay no bills, don't do shit. And this is what she would think to do with her time. See, she has some real stuff going on. She has, let me use present tense. She has deep stuff going on right now. Because 9 times out of 10, she's not reformed. And as you hear this police chief speaking, misdemeanors. Worst case scenario, she get a year in jail, may not even get that. Able to bond out, walk out on a lie. Just horrendous. Why did she lie? Boyfriend problems? So what? Join the club. Oh, I'm having a bad day. Nobody likes me. He's run off with this one, that one. He's a liar. He's this. So you decided to become a liar then. Tit for tat. Why go into the belly of the beast? Because somebody else decides to mellow down in there. What they say? They go low, I go high. Higher. Go higher. You have your whole life ahead of you, and this is what you would think to do with your time. Making up a story to 911, have people worried, concerned all over the world about a missing black girl who ain't missing. Now, the gist of the story is the obvious. Where was she? Did she have help? Where was she for the 2 days? Because even now in 2024, we have not heard where this heifer was. Where was she? Hanging out with her friends, hanging out with another guy, hanging out with a female friend, sitting under an apple tree. I don't know. But she was somewhere. Then she stole from a job. This really shows you something's really wrong with her. Steal money out of the register from the spa that she was working for, went to Target to get a few little snacks, and then go on the highway and concoct this BS. All for what? To go through her Google searches. She was searching bus tickets to, I believe, Nashville. What's the problem? Why lie? So now you got to ask what she's been doing. Jail, I guess. I'm assuming. Has she learned anything? Does she have remorse for her actions? What about her parents? What did they say to her once they realized she lied? Some people even thought they were in on it. I don't know. I'm not here to accuse any outsiders because in the end, she's an adult. And whether she had help, she concocted it, somebody else concocted it. The point is, she rode the donkey ride. And so far, we have not heard that anybody else was involved. Parents, boyfriend, lover, friends, associates. We have not heard where she stayed, where she was. And all that's odd to me, especially in the day and era of CCTV footage. Where was she? Where did she stay? Did she have help? Did the parents help her? Friends help her? Boyfriend help her? Then he went off to try to do some reality TV type stuff in Atlanta. That didn't pan out for nothing, some type of date show. See, just one thing begets another when it comes to foolishness. Have you noticed that? It sets off a chain of events, foolishness. Because people feed off of nonsense. And then you start to wonder, well, damn, she's already cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Don't know really what was going on in her life, her job, her friends, her associates, boyfriend, family. Now, here you come, boyfriend. You want to go on a date show. For what? And why would these people even seek him out? Do you know how crass that looks? To seek out the boyfriend of a liar to say, hey, we want to help you find a girlfriend. I think a girlfriend would be the last thing he would want. Checkmate. And I'm not saying he's a great person or a bad person. I'm just saying once his name got on blast of who he is, why would he want to be trying to find a new mate? Don't really know what was going on between the two, if they were dating, on, off, whatever. But something was amiss. Let's just say that. And maybe it was a clean break. He didn't want her. She didn't want him. I don't know. But do you really want to be on a date show? Because the premise is low rent. Somebody out of Atlanta reaches out to you to say, hey, we want to help you find a girlfriend because your girlfriend's in the news for making up lies, false reporting of a child, kidnapping. You need love. No. You don't know what he needs. Because some might say he's the reason for the season. He's the reason this cuckoo bird went off the deep end. And once again, you're entitled to your interpretation of the events because I really don't know what the hell was going on with this story. Just a bunch of people talking and making videos about he said it, she said. But my message to you today is the obvious. There is another Carlee Russell in the making, on the horizon. Waiting to pop off, ready to jump off. That's the gist of the story. There's another Carlee Russell around the corner about to make breaking news. And people like her are dangerous. You see, a liar is more dangerous than a thief. Oh, yes. A liar is way more dangerous than a thief, honey, and defrauder. Because you see, with the thief, you already know, okay, can't trust this person, don't give them personal information, don't let them in your house, your purse, blah, blah, blah. But the liar, oh, my. You see, a liar could be right there in your face spinning a web, and you don't even know that they're lying. See, that's more dangerous. Tell you anything, and you believe it. Try to lead you in the water, knowing you can't swim. And I think many of us have done that. Shut up, Queen. You know you couldn't swim when you went in the water, but you went in there anyway, listening to a liar. Woo! Have mercy. And I tell you, I was watching the Yana late this morning. Please check out those videos on my community page pertaining to a man with 34 kids. We'll have to do a video about that too, because Lord have mercy, that's a story within a story. But the point is, he was a liar, a manipulator. And the women fell for it, knew he was a liar, knew he had a lot of kids, but they laid down with him anyway. That's the point I'm trying to say. That even sometimes you know you're dealing with a liar, pathological, but you go in the belly of the beast anyway. You see the signs that they're lying. You've confronted them about the lies, and yet you still fool with them. Then people can look at you and say, damn, what the hell's wrong with you? And most of us have done it. You knew they were lying, and yet you still talking to them, dealing with them, laying with them, helping them, aiding them, coddling them. Why? See, I won't doubt that's what was going on with Carlee. She's been enabled her whole life, coddled her whole life, afforded a wonderful, cushy life to do absolutely nothing but become a pathological liar, manipulator, hoodwinker, bamboozler. And to get these qualities at at such a young age is even more disturbing. Because what did I tell you about being a liar? You don't wake up and start lying to people. You don't wake up at 25, 28 and start fibbing. Oh, no. You've been doing that. You've been doing that for a while. And I do believe she has. Why? I don't know. Childhood trauma, possibly. Spoiled, possibly. Ignored, possibly. Insecure, most definitely. She doesn't like herself. And you see people who lie to make themselves seem more important. Oh, I'm wealthy, I'm well off, I'm related to the Rockefellers, and you see those scammers pretending to be famous and getting free stuff, rooms in hotels, shopping sprees, this and that, and they are no more related to Rockefeller than the man in the moon. But somebody believed it because they sold the lie, and somebody believed it. And that's all lying and connery and grifting is about. It's selling the lie. It's the art of the con. You have to have a listener. You have to have a viable, warm body in order to perfect the lie. The lie means nothing without a warm body. Hello? People lie every day. Yeah, I got up, I did this, I went over here to the market, and they've never left the house. Just like the girl who's been on TikTok lately talking about the guy she married during COVID. He was a liar on Good Morning America. Please check out that video. It's also on my community page. Pretending he worked for a company, board meeting, this, that, and the other. But what you have to tell yourself is the obvious. Did he ever show you where he worked? Ever drove you by the company? Ever showed you his layout on his computer, who he worked for? See, you have to see things to say, well, oh yeah, I verified that. You don't verify it, it's just talk. Had a criminal record, don't know what it was. But that's the thing, people don't verify it. Well, I don't want to check his background. I don't want to check her background. I want to trust what they're saying. Well, we live in a world where people would say, well, it's probably best you you might want to do your homework before going into the belly of the beast. You might need to know who you're talking to. And, and it does seem a bit personal, when you start Googling people and, trying to see if they got a background just to hold a conversation. You meet somebody at the Walmart and they just say, hey, my name is John Black. Do I really need to Google their name just because they spoke to me? Hell no. I don't plan on having any engagements with John Black, so I don't need to Google them and see what the hell they got going on. It's just a chance meeting at Walmart. But when you take it past Walmart, then one would say you might want to find out more about them, especially when they start talking about going out, doing things, coming to your home. Because as someone once said to me, once the door is closed, all bets are off. Indeed. This young lady is going to have a hard road because of the lying. Because nobody's going to trust her. And this is why I say she's been lying. She didn't wake up and start lying. She's been lying a long time. And her parents probably been a part of the lies. Because who knows you better than your own family, your parents? They probably coddled her, probably built this baby liar. Or could have been the greatest parents, great life, and she just liked to tell fibs. Don't know. But she's messed up her life by lying because, as I just said, who's going to hire you? Because at some point, no matter what profession you are in, especially a professional capacity, I've got to know that I can trust you. So if you're deviant enough to say you saw a child on the highway, pretend that you were abducted, this is extreme lying. What could you do for me as far as an employer? See what I'm saying? I can't trust you to do anything. Operate the register. I can't give you personal information. What could you possibly do that I would trust you? So she's going to have a hard road. It's just common sense. The only thing she could do is find her an agent and try to give speaking engagements on why you shouldn't lie. And what led her down this road to fakery. And to teach other young people what you don't want to do. That's the only thing I can see her doing. Can she change? Of course. If she believes in God, Jesus Christ, of course she could change. But I can tell you what, it'll be something to fall back on when things get rough, things get off. That'll be the first thing she'll think to do is lie. Because old habits die hard, such as drinking, drugs, overeating, undereating, it's all the same. Gambling. You always resort back to what was familiar, what is comfortable. And being a pathological liar, Lord have mercy. I'm just trying to see in my right mind how you're going to stop lying. Because it's a crutch. And as I said, I'm sure she's done it most of her life. So it'll be hard to stop lying. And trust me, I thought about this last summer when I covered the story. Dear God, please don't anybody procreate with her. Because this is somebody that don't need children. Hey, you lie about a toddler, lie about being kidnapped, you be the first one to do something to your kid. Yeah, I'm saying that. She doesn't need a baby, a goldfish, a frog, nothing. I wouldn't even trust her with a house plant. Hell no. Nothing. Because you don't know who you're talking to, who you're dealing with. And people like her, they will lie about the most mundane things. Now, I understand sometimes you don't want people in your business, nosy Parkers. You might make up something and say, yeah, I went over here, I did this today. Yeah, I got up and did this. Just because you just don't want to engage in a conversation, you want to shut them up. But when you just lie all the time about just any stupid thing, you have a problem. And she is not the only one. That's the point I'm trying to make. There are more Carlee Russells, male and female versions. And they make up what we see as far as breaking news. Because it starts small. And lying leads to other things. Now, old adage, sociopath, psychopath, narcissist does not necessarily become a murderer. But a murderer is a narcissist, sociopath, and a psychopath. Checkmate. So you see, there are stages that you can get yourself into to lead up to mayhem. And that's what you don't want. Because the mind is fragile. It's obvious. If a person can make themselves believe these things, fornicate these things in their head, you have to also ask yourself, how far will they go to spin the lie? And that's why I say the liar is the most dangerous. Because you can eventually believe your lies. And even when confronted, you still will lie. Of course, you don't want to be proven a fraud. And it will be sickening to find out she gets herself in more foolishness and mayhem down the road once free, because this is all she knows if she doesn't get her some help and she doesn't change her ways. Part 2. True crime wackos. As I've told many people who have followed this network for the past couple of years that I've been on YouTube, it seems to me that talking about true crime, it tends to bring out the worst in people for some weird, crazy, diabolical reason. What it is, I don't know. But I'm noticing a trend. I had this conversation with Mr. Chris Thorns earlier today when we were talking, and it's just, I'm seeing the same behavior out of the commenters. I could be on a Newsbreak article. I could be under a video in a YouTube queue. And I listen at the comments. I listen at people that have come up on my panel, other people's panels on YouTube. I've listened at people in the chat box, comment box. And I start to ask myself, who are these people? Because they mirror the people who I'm talking about in the story. They don't see it, but I do. And one of my classmates told me, you're a critical thinker, Angela. Your mind is very analytical. And it always has been. It's probably my downfall, but I go in the belly of the beast of conversation. I go in the belly of the beast of a story. I chop up everything said. I question everything said. I ask the who, the where, the what, the why. And sometimes I let stuff just fly over my head, maybe because I'm really not interested or I don't really want to just be in the moment. But the one thing I've come to see in talking about true crime is that people who comment are basically 2 minutes from becoming the same story that they're commenting on. And when I was reading about Carlee Russell today, an article came up in the Google search saying just that. That some people are 2 minutes from being a Carlee Russell story. I said, hot damn. And I have to think about that, huh? Do I agree with that? Well, I know it's true. But what I have to tell myself is, why would you want to go to the extremes of being a Carlee Russell story or any other mayhem story you see? Because this isn't a story about abuse of a baby, abuse of a child, abuse of an elderly person, unaliving a human being. It's not even that kind of story. It's about a person that lied about seeing a kid and being kidnapped. Nobody was hurt. Nobody was harmed. Just a lie that somebody was harmed, which was herself. But the point, I guess, the person who wrote the article is saying there are many people like her. And that's the point that I've made during this live stream. There are Carlee Russells out here. They just haven't made the news. They haven't made the news yet. Let me say that, yet. He hasn't made the news yet. And I'm seeing it in the comments, such as stuff I was reading today. That's why I made the comment about Sebastian Rogers. If you know something pertinent pertaining to the crime, his whereabouts, contact TBI or the Hendersonville, Tennessee Police Department. Okay? Because sometimes you can say things that sounds foolish. You can say things that people misinterpret, and they misinterpret it as factual. And the one thing you shouldn't be doing is passing information under articles and videos and chat boxes as if you know that to be factual. Because we have a lot of gullible people out here who believe anything that's said. That's why you're supposed to always say allegedly, or I think this could have happened. Not I know he did this and said this. If you weren't there, you don't know that. And that's something I see with true crime. People passing information as if it's factual and it's not. And then they want people to put their stamp on it and agree. Well, I'm not agreeing with anything that there is no receipt to. You just opened the book, saw a story, ran with it, and started making up stuff that you think happened. That's not facts. That's not facts. And I personally don't want to hear it. You can assume whatever you want about a story. That's your business. But don't say, yeah, I know this happened and they did this and he said this and they wore this color coat, and you don't do that. And it's just bizarre to me, the behavior of people who comment excessively, and it leads me to think you've got something wrong with you. And I'm going to say that. Because just the redundance of talking on and on and on in a chat box, it's baffling to me. Now, you can get offended. I don't really care. But it makes me think there's something wrong with you. I've noticed it recently. I could pick a random story to talk about. I don't even have to really be interested in the story. I could just say, I'm going to talk about this today. And I'll be damned. Back to back comments. And I'm just looking like, okay, well, what is going on here? Am I missing something? And then they quit back. God forbid you respond. You are going into the belly of the beast and you don't even know it. Then they come back and say something else. To where it's almost like you're bickering with the person and you're thinking to yourself, why am I even engaging in this bullshit? And yes, we're all entitled to our opinion. But when you're putting out stuff as if you know what happened, then that's a different thing. And as I said, I don't put my stamp on anything unless it has a receipt. And I don't bank on anything that somebody else said pertaining to a YouTuber. That don't mean nothing to me. What you heard over on 15th Street. Because I ask people that all the time when they come in the chat, when they come under the comment box, first thing they say, I heard this here. Then I say, well, where'd you hear it from? I don't know. I don't remember. Okay. But you want me to believe it. Then they'll mention the source. And then I'll say, well, where did they hear it? I don't know. Such and such said it to them. And then I always say, okay. So it's hearsay then. So just like when somebody calls 911 to say they see a toddler walking down the highway, then it leads to them being kidnapped. Then we find out it's a lie. Now you see why I question anything you say about what you heard. and where you got it from. Because if the person in the story will lie about a crime, why the fuck would you think I'm going to believe something you're saying in the damn chat about what you heard? And a lot of people don't realize that. Because if you can't bring a receipt to what you heard, it's just that. A version. Everything pertaining to life is a version. You either believe it or you don't. And somewhere in the version is the truth. Somewhere in there, it's a lie. Partial truth. You either believe it or you don't. But what I'm not going to do is put my stamp just on anything said. And as Chris said today, oh my goodness. He said the West case and the Summer Wells case, they're perfect examples of people just saying anything, making up anything, and people believe it. I don't even wrangle with anybody pertaining to anything pertaining to Summer Wells. The West case, Camille McKinney, none of those cases, because most of the stuff said has been nothing but a bunch of bullshit. Just a bunch of hillbillies running around, toothless, no common sense, making up stuff. People pretending to care about the child, the children, pretending to be invested in the case, pretending to look for the children, pretending to be, psychic, whatever. It means nothing to me. Because that's all I've seen are a bunch of whack jobs talking about true crime. And a lot of people don't realize you can get yourself hurt passing rumors and making up stuff, pretending to be this and that. Oh, I work with the such and such agency and I'm doing this and blah, blah, blah. And then once a person starts talking to that person, you realize, hell, they're just as fruity as a fruitcake. And I speak from experience because I've talked to a lot of people in these stories behind closed doors. I've talked to people who, chatted in the chat. And I can honestly say there's just a lot of people who I think are not dealing with a full damn deck. And I don't have to say it to their face. For what? Because naturally it's not going to be well received. You don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But there are a lot of people who are just as wacky and crazy as the people in the story. And that's why you have to differentiate, because the people who have committed the crimes in the story are the people that are in the chat. Stay woke. Does that not down on anybody? That everybody is random. Everybody is random. There's nothing special about anybody. We solidify who's special or not. So when you see people famous for whatever reason on the news, breaking news, they are the same people who watch TV, roller skate, work at Piggly Wiggly, McDonald's, CEO of corporations, nurses, doctors, lawyers, and also watch YouTube, Facebook, and comment in the chat boxes. That's what you need to understand about people. We are all random. There's nothing special about any of us. How you choose to navigate is your choice. How you choose to, the people you come in contact with, the people you deal with, your choices, that is all on you. So remember, all these people you see in a story, you're wondering if they committed a crime. They unalived the child, they unalived the wife, the husband, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. They are the same people who were walking and talking, living beside you, that you had no idea they are crazy as fuck, that they watch YouTube and they've commented in the comment boxes and chat boxes, reached out to the YouTuber, the news station. They've done all of that just as well. You just didn't know it. And now they're on the news saying their son is missing. Their daughter is missing. They saw a child walking down the highway in a diaper. And they went to get the child. And a white man with orange hair jumped out and kidnapped them. They're one and the same. As I said before on my community page, if you have information pertaining to the disappearance of a 15-year-old Caucasian boy by the name of Sebastian Rogers, contact the FBI, TBI, or the Hendersonville, Tennessee Police Department. If you have information to any other news story pertaining to a disappearance of a person or an actual murder case, missing persons, please contact your local authorities. Not the YouTube chat, not the YouTube comment box, but the police. That's my commentary. Carlee Russell has a hearing set for March 21st. Is this an enter of plea for guilty? How much time will she get? Will she just get a slap on the wrist? Because the charges are misdemeanors, not felonies. She may just get supervised probation. Naturally, $18,000 fine has been issued for her to pay back monies. She wasted a lot of resources and time. And I thank God it didn't go on longer than it did. Because as you see with the Papini case out of California, that was a winded situation out there. The same Caucasian lady, she exacted the same MO of saying she was kidnapped, Hispanic women kidnapped her, blah, 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 held in a house. She came out, the state awarded her family money. And then later, when the truth came out years later, when they reopened the case, she was ordered, she and her husband, to pay that money back from the Victims Fund, California Victims Fund. And some may say, well, yeah, they should have to pay the money back. Well, the money has to be paid back because it was a lie. That's understandable. But then people are getting mad about what the husband spent the money on, this and that. But common sense will tell you, once you get money, a person has been awarded money, you can't tell them what to do with the money, because people are going to do all kind of things once they get money. And naturally, nobody knew it was a lie that the lady told. And I don't think the husband knew, that his wife had concocted a kidnapping story. He probably honestly believed his wife was missing. But you see that the length she went through to get attention. Obviously, she was unhappily married, living a lie, talked the stupid guy into picking her up and helping her, torture herself. And he should have known then, okay, something's wrong with this chick. And that's when he should have told her, I don't know what's going on, what you got up your sleeve, but you need to get out my house. Because she never wanted to have any type of relations with him, which should have been his sign. Something was off with her. And naturally, a person doesn't have to have sexual relations with you, but you should be questioning their motivations for wanting to be in your home windedly. And they are married and have children. So he should have known something wasn't right. Not trying to work, not trying to do anything productive. Then why is this person in my house? They don't want me touching them, kissing them. You understand what I'm saying? He should have seen the signs something was off with her. And he should have said, well, look, I'm attracted to you. I thought you were coming here to try to be with me, but I see there's something else going on here. I need to take you to the nearest bus station, train station, and you need to get on your way. But see, he played along with whatever she told him. And then eventually, it all came to a head once it made the news, her returning home, and he realized she had misled him. Now, did she tell him the truth? that she ran away, told people she was missing. Because one would say he'd have to have known because she was reported missing. So then I have to use my better judgment to think he had to have known that she was concocting this ruse because it was all over the news that she was missing. State of California and all over the United States. So one would say, how is it that he never knew? He lived, in the general area, even if it was just a couple of hours up the highway. If you still lived in California, how is it that you didn't know this lady was missing? So I'm thinking, yes, he had to have known, and he should have contacted the authorities. It told him, yeah, she's at my house, and I don't know what's going on, and I want no parts of this bullshit. That's my commentary, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back with more stimulating content and updates. Please take the polls on my community page. I'll try to be back this week. I want to talk about this segment I watched on the OWN network with Iyanla pertaining to this African-American man who has 34 children or so. And why would a woman willingly talk to a man or try to date a man with that many children? Now, one can say, well, if it's just a fling or sex, she's not expecting anything from him. She's not expecting a relationship. Maybe I could see that. Because she doesn't want a relationship. But if she wanted one, why would you choose that guy? I must say, after watching the program with Iyanla, I was able to separate the man from the sin, the man from the horrible behavior, lying, manipulating, the bed hopping, because it was emotional watching, each segment, the breakdown of how this man became to be this whore. He's a male whore. They're listening to the other men give their stories on, later programs that she did. And you see that a lot of the men had trauma from childhood. And naturally, trauma is what forms us to be the people that we are. So I was able to compartmentalize and look at each man individually without, judging him on his, gross behavior of, misleading women, lying, which is however, to see they were broken individuals. And the women were just as broke for dealing with them, going in. And as Iyanla said, you've got broke attracting broke. Broken attracting broken. And naturally, when you look at yourself, you would say, well, whether I'm broke or not, I didn't think I was attracting a broke person, especially if, okay, this person reached out to me. But naturally, at some point in dealing with the person, you realize they are broken. And you continue to deal with them anyway. It's a very good segment because it's several of them. There's like 3 parts. Man with 34 kids. And then she brings him back on another show with other men. And then they also talk to the women who had the babies with that guy. So it's like about 5 parts. But it's very good. It's on my community board if you want to check it out in your free time. And this show was filmed probably about 10 or so years ago. I'd like to know where he is and what is he doing now. And if he's in a better place, if he is still, meandering with different women, lying, manipulating. I would hope for his sake that Jay's changed because he is, near the queen's age. And my thing is, at some point, how can you continue to live that way? To me, it's a sin and wrong at 40 years old to still be whoring around and misleading women and lying to them and making babies. My right mind was telling me, why would a 40-year-old man want a baby? I couldn't see it, 44 and have a 2-year-old. That was just weird to me. I can't even see a 40-something-year-old woman wanting a toddler, a baby. I just can't. That's just me personally. So then I factor in, okay, this was years ago. He's 50 plus now. Is he in a better place? Is he doing better? Is he treating people better? Is he treating himself better? And I learned a lot from listening to the program. Everybody giving their personal opinion, the mothers, talking about how they failed their children, their boy children. And The one thing I learned, which I've learned before, is that you can't give what you don't got. You can't love somebody else and you don't know what love is. You can't be the better person if you don't even know yourself. So that goes for motherhood, fatherhood, rearing children, and also going out in the world and trying to date people and build relationships with people. Whether it be job, personal, family, you just can't give what you don't have. You have to be taught how to be cordial to people, be respectful of people, honor thyself. If you haven't been taught that, you can't give that to somebody else. So it was a very, very just beautiful segments. I mean, I highly recommend it for anybody who's just in self-search mode right now, dealing with a lot of trauma in their life, especially dealing with relationships. I highly recommend you check out all segments of the TV show Iyanla on the OWN network. Each episode, most of the episodes are posted to my community page because there's 3 of the first show about the man with the 34 kids, and the women and the children. They all speak. And then she does 2 more episodes. That's the return. So in your free time, please check out those episodes. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $McAngie, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome to the live stream. This was just a quick live to talk about Carlee Russell and also the buffoonery that comes with true crime, that people are just random. And that a lot of times, if you're really paying attention, the people who are watching the story unfold, they are eerily similar to the people in the story. And that's the whole point, is that the people in the story, especially the ones who are the criminals, they are random. They are regular. Because we're all random. We are all regular people. And that if you're put in the right position, circumstance, you too can become a true crime story. Thank you for your time. You've been listening to the Vault XL.